Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those of you around the world. Welcome to the daily Trade the Chain crypto update, where we give you everything you need to know for the next 24 hours and hopefully the next few days. Today is Tuesday, January 16th. This is kind of our Monday since yesterday was Martin Luther King Day. So although US markets were closed, crypto is still running, but the way that we typically look at things is based on Monday opens, and when Mondays are closed, Tuesdays are kind of equally important to Mondays. So kind of treating this one like a Monday, easing into the week. We obviously had our massive news yesterday, or not yesterday, last week with the Bitcoin ETF. So now we're going to be in kind of a macro news lull for crypto. So basically what we want to see is obviously prices holding up, slow grind higher, best case scenario, slow grind lower. Hopefully the worst case scenario, obviously dropping substantially would be the ultimate worst case. But total crypto market cap hovering around 1.7 trillion. Total trading volume has dropped a little bit. Obviously, we did have that holiday weekend. Sentiment mostly neutral for Bitcoin and ETH. Bitcoin flat, ETH, slightly up. Tweet volume definitely down a little bit. Not too surprised to see trading volume and tweet volume down, as compared to the Bitcoin ETF situation. Obviously, with that happening, people are definitely going to take their foot off the gas pedal a little bit. Got a bunch of crap coins running right now: Titan, ZLW, Chiliz, BTU, Poly, all that fun stuff. Total stablecoin exchange flows very, very green today. A lot added in the past 24 hours. So definitely what you want to see if you are of the mind that the rally is going to continue. Bitcoin sentiment kind of fell off a cliff and has been really flat over the weekend. The flat price action much better than lower. Sentiment mostly neutral. Not out of the ordinary after the ETF trade. Again, kind of goes with the consolidation, easing up type of narrative. ETH obviously looking a little bit better. Remember, leading up to the ETF, Bitcoin was always better than ETH. Now it's kind of flip-flopped. ETH flat, but still very up since the ETF trade. I think it's still 5-10% higher than when the ETF was announced. So definitely a good sign there. But we definitely want to obviously see sentiment continue to be impactful. We basically want ETH sentiment to look like Bitcoin sentiment did leading into the ETF, and Bitcoin sentiment was quite positive. So looking at DXY, going to go ahead and normalize this a little bit. We can see DXY has moved. Remember, we had that tricky CPI print that did not come in as we wanted last week. So, seeing this move higher, not out of the ordinary, probably going to run up to this 103.6, 103.7 area. From there, if it moves higher, probably going to hurt equities and crypto. If it rejects off, hopefully, it'll either drop back to 102.4 or 101, which would obviously be good for equities and crypto. So DXY moving higher, definitely going to make it difficult for risk price action to move higher as well. So we want to see rejection right around that area. Looking at equities, not too bad in the grand scheme of things, to be completely honest with you. Again, back to the, making higher lows. This was kind of that lower low, but then we made a higher high. So now, we're kind of just range bound. We talked last week about, good scenario being range bound in the upper half of the range. It's obviously where we are currently bound. If you break below the lower half of the range, I would say this is probably going to be your first kind of hold area, which would be 47.30. Below 47.30, I'm going to drop back down to 46.93. Again, we want to stay above 46.93. Ideally, we're breaking above 46.90 or 47.95. But obviously, if until we break above 47.95 or below 46.93, we're just stuck in a range, and you will be range bound. So the best ways to play this, in my opinion, since it's so tight, are you buy a break above the range with confirmation, you sell a break mid-range, you sell 47.30, a break of 47.30, and then if we make it back here, you buy the sweep, or if we sweep mid-range, you buy the sweep as well. And then with your stop, obviously, down here at the low. So nothing really too much to glean from equities. Certainly a little precarious, but we are staying above the second half of the range. And obviously, on a lower time frame, kind of making some higher lows. So we definitely want to see this do something like that in the near term, or else it'll start to kind of fizzle down lower like that. So let's move over to Bitcoin. Let's get rid of all this crap. Probably get rid of those indicators. Okay, so Bitcoin, very, very range bound. Obviously, nasty drop Friday, mostly flat. Didn't have a sweep down here on Sunday. But this is the Monday. This is now the Monday low. Although, I did say treat today like Monday. We're still going to look at it as the Monday high and the Monday low. So we'll get this, it's going to get a little tight here. So I may kill some of these lines, because I do think, where we're currently sitting, like the current, these are the current lines that I have, right? So if I added the Monday low, it's gonna, it's gonna confuse things a little bit. But we're gonna keep it here just for today's kind of discussion, but probably won't be paying too much attention to these throughout the week. But okay, so today we swept the Monday high, right? So probably not a very good sign to move higher. If we broke above 43.4, we would probably move up to 43.8. We also have that 1 hour estimated 200 moving average there. So solid confluence of resistance. And then we swept the Monday high. So technically, if you're trading this, probably want to short back down towards the Monday low. I'm, again, still not of the mind that, Bitcoin, I'm definitely not looking for shorts, but the risk is defined, stop up at the sweep, trade it down lower. And I'm going to get rid of some of these lines here because they're probably not too helpful. But if we break below 42.5, going to drop down to 42 flats. Below 42 flats, going to drop down to 41.7, which is obviously the Monday low. And then we have, I want to say this is last week's low right here, which is also, I want to say it's not the yearly low. The yearly low is right here. Right here is the yearly low at 40.7. So if we drop below last week's low, probably sweep the yearly low, which wouldn't be the worst case scenario, because if that's our yearly low and that just stays our yearly low, that's actually a pretty good situation. But more of the story right now for me is for Bitcoin, if we sweep this low or we sweep this low, probably a good long, right? With your long right here, stop at the low. We've talked about that trade many times. And then obviously if we break higher, we want to get above this high right here, and then we can start talking about higher. I'd probably wait to see if we get above this 1 hour estimated 200 moving average to be a little bit more on the safe side. But basically the only trades that I would want right now are sweeps of last week's low, sweeps of the yearly low, or a confirmed break of this week's high. That's really the only trade I want. Else you're just kind of confined to this range. It's ugly. It's gross. I don't want it. So that's how I'm looking at it. Yearly low or last week's low, give me a sweep along. If we break below those and confirm below those, things get very, very ugly very, very quickly. Talked about this last week, but just to kind of give you a little bit of a primer. If we break below 40K, then we will be beneath this low, and that would not be very good. That does kind of look parabolic toppy if that does kind of happen, if we start to do something like this. If we don't hold right here, it's going to get very, very ugly. Plenty of room down here. Doesn't mean, we're going to drop straight like a rock, but it does, it makes it a lot more difficult to continue higher. So as you can see, these two, I want to see sweeps with immediate buybacks, and then I will be convinced that we will head higher, at least on a lower time frame scale. Well, how long, whether it lasts or whatever happens after that, we'll see. But that is, that's the only trade I want right now, other than obviously a break above 43.4. Looking at ETH, obviously the stronger chart, haven't been saying that much, but ETH is the stronger chart. Just so we did try and break above the 25.65 level that I had lined out for TTC. Obviously unable to break that. If we kind of accept back lower, if we accept back beneath 25.54, probably going to drop, all the way back down to 2,500 or lower. This is kind of an ugly little, I wouldn't take that trade. That's just kind of for, the 1 hour estimated 200 moving average is kind of the last holdout for this kind of support level. As you can see here, not really an official bounce, but bounced above it, bounced at it, bounced above it. So we want to continue to see that hold. Trades that I would like for ETH. Obviously, this is the low, I want to say, for the week. Yeah, this is the low for the week. This is the Monday high. So yeah, so basically, if we sweep, very similar to what we talked about with kind of Bitcoin. Obviously, this is last week's low, so this is quite low. So really not looking for a a weekly sweep on this, but if we swept to this low, I'd look for a long. And if we swept this low down here, I'd look for a long with your stop down here. If we start accepting all the way back below 23.55, that's probably not a very good sign. Definitely want to see it stay above 24.44, but I can probably deal with 23.55, but we definitely want to stay above that. So in a perfect world, obviously we snap back above 25.65 and run up to 26.57. But the only, very similar to Bitcoin, I only want to buy a confirmed break higher, and I only want to buy a sweep lower. And whether or not that sweep is this, this Friday low, or if it is if it's the 23.56 level, one of those I'll play. So you basically got a couple options on Bitcoin and ETH. Again, this is kind of our Monday. I don't really take Monday trades anyway. We just usually get setups ready for the week unless something is really looking exciting. But the moral of the story for Bitcoin and Ethereum is wait for a break higher, wait for a sweep. Else we'll just sit here and consolidate and continue down the path. So did give TTC community some coins that we're checking out that hasn't deviated too much from our list over the past couple of weeks. So I can't, give away all the goods every single day because our members do pay for that. And this is obviously, public YouTube. So definitely, join the TTC community if you want to check those out. It's actually the very first update today. If you go and sign up for a free trial, you'll see some of the coins that we are watching closely. We'll continue to add and subtract from those as the weeks continue to press on. But obviously, our thesis has been ETH, L1s and L2s will continue to outperform as compared to Bitcoin throughout the rest of the year. Hoping that continues to be the trend. But right now, it does look like ETH obviously looking a lot stronger than Bitcoin, and hopefully that trend continues as we navigate through the rest of the year. So that being said, good luck, happy trading. See everybody tomorrow.